of bacon that they got. It is a young wildebeest, and what Jandre was showing you there was the lioness who's gone back to fetch her cub. Have killed a little wildebeest right here, right now. It all happened very, very quickly indeed. And the little wildebeest is just in the grass there. It's not part of the migratory herd. It's not part of the migration. This wildebeest herd, apparently it's part of a much smaller herd of 30,000 odd, which of course in Kruger terms is massive for wildebeest. There it comes. But they are resident in this area, and they've just killed right now. And I think, of course, we are going to be sitting here for quite a while because we don't have to go anywhere today. And because we don't have to go anywhere today, well, what that means is that we can wait for the young cub to come back to the kill with any luck. And of course you can hear a whole lot of vehicles around. Everybody is greatly excited by what we've witnessed here today. For very good reason. Now I think what she will probably do, Jandre, is head towards those trees there. If they don't eat it here, I think she'll take it towards the trees. And then the cub will hopefully come back, just sort of as everybody, unfortunately for them, has to clear off. We're going to be here until the end of the drive. So we've got another 2 hours, of course. Everyone else has got an hour. Jandre, shall I just reposition slightly so that that bar doesn't get in the way? Wow. Quite an afternoon. Quite a day, really. I'm just trying to help these guys get past us. I'm just going to stop here, actually, until everything's sort of calmed down a bit. There she is. Phew. So, I mean, as far as I know, this is the Angama Pride. We've got largely bacon eaters, of course. This time they're having a bit of venison, and young venison, veal venison if you like, which is of course a little bit distasteful to some, but that is what happens out here. The young infirm gets taken out. Yeah, Aaron, it really is. It's cats galore day, as you say. We've had a magnificent day out here, both at Djuma and in the Mara, of course. And wow. I mean, I don't know what to say about this, other than wow. Okay, I'm going to reverse back a bit now, just so that we can get a bit more space. Jandre, shall we go back a little bit? Yeah, she's moving. I'm just going to warn you, everybody, there are a lot of vehicles here, so we might get in the way, they might sort of get in the way slightly, but if I get past this fellow here, very kindly parked as he is, I think we'll get a nice view of him. How's that, Jandre? Is that alright for you? Alright, there we go. Right, we're going to wait and see what plays out here. Try and sort of not play bumper cars, but dodge 'em cars. Brent has got a whole lot of striped ponies streaming across the plains.
You can see these zebra just streaming past us. Now the leopard's not too far away over there, but he isn't actually showing much interest. And I also heard that there was a prominent Balanites tree with a V just down the road where there were lions. So we're going to start making our way towards there. And you see there's this constant stream of zebras coming past us. Now let's get back to the road. Should be around here somewhere. Roads sometimes in a sea of grass can be quite difficult to spot. So there's a tree with a prominent V, which I'm assuming is that big Balanites over there. And these zebra herds are running straight towards that prominent tree. You can see there's a group up there. There's probably another 100 or so over to the left of us, all moving towards where those lions are. So fingers crossed we can actually find them as well. It seems like it's a big cat day out in the Mara today. Now remember, hashtag Safari Live if you've got any questions for us. We've just left the male leopard. He's still sleeping. I think I'm going to probably try come back to him if we don't find these lions. Now this pride of lions, I'm not sure who they'll be. It could be border pride. So up ahead you see there's two little, so very small little hills with some trees on them. There we go. Those are called Lima Mbili. It means the two hills. And the two hills are sort of the boundary between the border pride and the sausage tree pride to a degree. They come in from this side. Then there's also the Ngiro Are pride, which is right up against the escarpment. And they're very skittish and nervous, and they're not seen very often. I wonder where all these zebras are, or what they're running from and where they're going. Okay, so we're going to keep moving through here, keeping an eye on what's going on in the Mara, and Byron's doing the same at Djuma.
We are indeed, Brent, and you've had a herd of zebra there, and now we've got a herd over here with a young foal. Look at that, there's a little foal with this herd. They're going to walk across the road in front of us. Are we going to have a look? There he goes. Look. Ooh. Just a quick little pause or slammed on brakes. This is wonderful. Lovely light. Now look at that, isn't that cute? Quite a scruffy looking zebra. Look at his back, his hair's all standing up, probably been cleaned by his man. Oh, he chased the starling. As the starling flew past, he tried to give one of those back kicks that the zebra are able to give. And wow, what a sighting for old Croc Dundee up in the Mara. James with that lioness, with the Wildebeest. So it's all happening up there. It's really amazing that we have so many different interesting sightings for you. But this is wonderful to watch this little zebra, very, very playful. Oh. Bree, your comment. Now, don't tell anyone this. It reminds me of one of my favorite movies. You say, it's so fluffy. It reminds me of Despicable Me, where that little girl goes, it's so fluffy I could die. Now, don't tell anybody I watched that. I was forced to. Let's just put it that way. I was forced to watch it. Now, there's also a wildebeest who's going to be joining the zebra shortly. He was moving just behind them, but let's keep an eye on the zebra for now. Barbara, hopefully these zebras stay away from the lions. Now, Barbara, I wonder if perhaps that zebra that was hunted last night didn't come from this herd. It's a possibility, because I haven't seen any signs of other zebra around here. So it is a possibility, I'm not sure. Now, that wildebeest is just hiding behind a tree at the moment. There it is. You might be able to see him. There it is. Now, this again is a nice example of the relationship between wildebeest and zebra. How they often are found together because they are both grazers. But there's no direct competition. The zebra tend to eat the longer grass, and the wildebeest tend to eat the shorter grass. So they feed on slightly different parts of the grass, but they generally found in the same area. They like the open clearings, and also for safety. This wildebeest is by himself, so following the zebra around almost helps for safety. You can warn each other if there are predators. So that's why they're often found in the same area. See, the zebra enjoying some of that grass around the termite mound. It's probably quite fertile, rich in nutrients. There's an oxpecker dust bathing. Look at that. Little oxpecker busy dust bathing at the moment. Oh, wow. This lilac-breasted roller just landed in front of us, but the colors are incredible. I wonder if it caught something there. Looked like it's possibly feeding on maybe little ants or an insect walking across the road. I don't see. But the colors, there it goes. Wow, just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, there it goes again. See that blue, very, very beautiful bird. Lilac-breasted roller, the oxpecker that was dust bathing, that's most likely following the zebra around and the wildebeest. Look at that oxpecker busy, the roller balancing on the branch. And as I was saying, the zebra are feeding on a lot of the grass around that termite mound because it's probably quite fertile. That grass. So the soil around a termite mound is fertile. So actually, I mean to say that the grass is probably very palatable. It's got a high nutrition value. So a lot of nutrients in that grass because of that the fertile soil of the termite mound. So often you get animals like these herbivores feeding on the grass or vegetation around termite mounds. Because of that rich fertile soil, there's a lot of nutrients in the plant material that grows out of there. I can hear a red-crested koran calling in the distance. Isn't this lovely? Very nice, very peaceful. Oh wow, now my friend Croc Dundee has found that lioness again. We've got a better view and it sounds like she's dragging the carcass. Let's head over to James and find out what's going on there.
Well, Byron might be having a very peaceful day, but I tell you what, this lioness, well, she's having a bit of a torrid time now because she's trying to get this kill into a place where she can eat it in peace, but not nearly as torrid as that wildebeest herd that has unfortunately, had a very bad time indeed. Now, she's dragging it much further than I thought she would. She might be taking it to the next group of trees, and quite possibly that is where she will meet the lioness, the other lioness and the cub. Now, you haven't seen the wildebeest yet. I would put it at definitely less than 6 months old, so probably a 3-month-old. Can't be a 3-month-old, surely. Must have been born around January, unless maybe born a bit later in the herds that aren't migratory. It wasn't a big one, though. That's interesting, I don't know if the sedentary herd that lives here produces their offspring at the same time as the ones in the migration, which I think produce them in January in the plains of the Serengeti in the southern plains. And that is just a beautiful shot, isn't it? Quintessential East African Mara scene. Just stunning. Now there is a road, she's heading towards the original road where we first saw them, so I suspect quite strongly that that is where they'll go. She's looking for others. Now I don't know sufficient about the dynamics of this area to know whether this lioness and her partner are the only members of the Angama pride. I thought it was 3 or 4 of them, plus about 3 or 4 cubs. But so far it's just been the 2 lionesses and the 1 youngster that I've seen. And I'm just scanning this grassland to see if perhaps the other lioness isn't heading this way, which I don't think she is. Alright, what we're going to try and do is get around here and then head towards that other road. Teresa, you say, how does prey protect their youngsters from the predators in such a vast area? Well, I mean, I don't think the vastness of the area probably helps. You know, they can get away. There's more space to run. They can see more easily. But I think, you know, the only way for a youngster to be protected is to run. If you're the size of a wildebeest, because, you know, if a big bull wildebeest stopped to try and defend the calf against a lion, the lions would just take the big bull wildebeest. So they have no option but to run away. But the size and openness of this area is probably a pretty good thing for the wildebeest. I mean, that's why there's so many compared with, for example, in the Sabi sand, or one of the reasons. And that's because they can see lions coming, which makes them just that much more successful than they would be in more closed woodland areas. But interestingly, we have been talking quite a lot about how difficult it has been, or how potentially difficult it is for lions in an environment like this, but it isn't actually. You'd think that given the lack of bush around here, that there would be nothing for them to hide around or hide behind. But in actual fact, this long grass is perfect for them. It means that they never get in the way of something. They always have a clear line of sight just about to their prey. And if they're careful, and it struck me the other day as I was watching some footage and we were going through it, and we were talking about, is it harder or is it easier? And it struck me that actually they are perfectly designed for this, and I suspect that their design evolved in an area exactly like this, where they just lift their heads above the grass and then they carry on going. And you can see broad daylight, they just made a kill. Alright, let's head across to Ali. I'm going to try and get around and see the others. We'll see if we can catch up with a cub. While we do that, go and say hello to Ali.
Seems like the girls in the mall are performing for Mr. James Henry. How exciting! We've got quite a few little birds all around. We've got the Cisticula and some chagras and some buntings, and they're all a bit upset, but I can't figure quite why. Maybe there's a snake somewhere around here. You see, they're all quite agitated, all making alarm calls and wagging their tails and moving around and making noises. They're all around. And they have been going on non-stop for quite a little while, so we actually stopped in the hope to see if maybe there was a snake on somewhere of the trees, maybe something else, like perhaps a genet that could be bothering them, that started moving a bit earlier today. But it seems like we can't really see anything else around here. There's a crested francolin that's jumped up on the tree. Also, maybe he's realized that there's something to be worried about on the ground, and that's why it's around. But he hasn't alarmed yet, so quite happy to be up there, maybe just as a precaution, because all of the other birds and everyone in the bird party is going a bit crazy at the moment. Fluffing up. Beautiful, beautiful colors, isn't it? Seems like this is going to be a bit of an unsolved mystery, because unless it's something on the ground, and we do have some very potentially dangerous snakes around here, so I don't want to go disturbing anything that might find a spot to sleep for the night or move around. Project Alpha, you're saying that they often alarm at snakes and mongooses. Yes, they do. So it could be that there's a mongoose around. I haven't seen any, so even the mongooses are quite noisy, so they always do like a bit of a chirping sound, like, and we would hear them somewhere around here. But because we haven't heard anything, I'm more tempted to think that perhaps there's a snake somewhere around here. When we first arrived, some of them seemed to be coming down from one of the apple leaves around here, but I had tried looking through the binoculars and I couldn't really see any snakes around there. So maybe this is our mystery for the day. Maybe there's a snake around here. Or, you know, I'm just saying snake because I'm a bit more inclined judging by the situation, but there could be a mongoose or a genet, perhaps even a notchy squirrel that's annoying them. One of the many mysteries of the bush, it seems. Right. Well, it seems like whatever it was, it's either moved away or left the birds on its own, because they're not as noisy as they were a few moments ago. Yeah, they seem to be settling down. So we're gonna carry on trying to look for Tandy and going back to Tandy and Tamba. Well, not going back, trying to find them somewhere around Twin Dam. See if perhaps now that it's getting cooler, if they've decided to come down for a drink. So onwards and forwards. Hopefully, you know, our spotted friends will be somewhere around there. They are the ones that I've never managed to see. Tandy and Tamba. So on the photos that the other guides take, but I haven't seen them yet. Only saw them today from far, far, far away through binoculars. So I was hoping maybe today I could make a new friend. But I think maybe I used up all my luck today with the wild dogs, which I won't complain about. But let's see. It's always a good spot to start trying again, because she was apparently steadily coming towards Twin Dam's area. So, oh, there's a very beautiful kudu over there. Let's see if maybe we can have a look, because he seems to have some massive horns as well. Moving down there in the distance. No, onto the drainage line he's going. But look at the size of those horns. I think this is one of the biggest ones that I've seen around here so far. So it's got 1, 2, and the third turn starting to come around. Yes, come into the open, please. Look at his size. Wow, he looks like a stunning male, doesn't he? And in that golden light with those horns shining that way, he looks very mighty and powerful. In his coat, he looks to be in such good shape and condition. Ah, but you've got a bit of a limp, don't you? Who knows? Maybe he's been fighting with some of the other males around. This is winter, is the season where the males start, well, where kudus start breeding. So I wonder if perhaps this male hasn't had a bit of a fight with another male around. So interesting to see. He has unfortunately gone down from what I can see from here. So we're gonna leave him and see if we can find him. Find the Octo, you're saying that the horns were quite impressive. I agree. I think this is one of the biggest kudus I've seen around this general area for a while, and he was just quite stunning, wasn't he? Like walking and, you know, posing in the sunlight as they do, just to have that bit of golden light falling onto them. Oh, beautiful. We're going to carry on our way, and hopefully we'll have some good news later on. But let's go to Byron, who's got a beautiful view of the vultures in the golden light.
I do indeed. Have a look at this. This is really beautiful. Just perfect spot of the sun with the vultures in the tree. Lovely silhouette of the vultures with the setting sun. Are we getting close to that position where the lions were? And we're going to be hopefully going to see them shortly. But look at that. Isn't that lovely? Something different. Fergus being artistic again. Now this is just something different. It's lovely to appreciate the views and especially the sunsets and the sunrises, and with vultures in a tree like that, it really is wonderful. R. Laura Moore, you say, oh wow. Did I get that right? R. Laura Moore, did it sound just like that? Oh, wow. I'm glad you're enjoying this. It's lovely to hear your comments of how you react to some of these sightings and how beautiful it is. Shelley, you say this is beautiful. It is indeed. Really lovely. That sun is setting quite quickly. Now, I think what we're going to do is I think we'll leave these vultures soon. I think with the sun's dropping now, so I want to get to those lions to see if there's a bit of activity, and that sun's going to probably disappear behind some of those clouds. There's another little vulture. A lot of you commenting and complimenting Fergs on his camera work. Thank you, Fergalicious. I wonder if that nickname's going to stick now that I've mentioned it live. Fergalicious. I may just get a little hand coming through the shot soon with a little slap on the back of the head there. Let's see what those lions are up to. We're not too far, they're just around the corner. Oh, I can't believe how the temperature's dropped. It's got quite cool. Now, these vultures just made me remember something. Thank you to Judy H, who sent me some information about those water thickneys that we saw yesterday. I remember yesterday afternoon we were sitting and they were close to the crocodile, and just it's always nice to read up and just make sure I gave you the right information, but I did, luckily. So they do nest close to the crocodiles, and the reason for that is the crocodiles may provide safety. Crocodiles and hippos may provide safety, so in terms of keeping other predators away from the nests. However, there isn't a benefit for the crocodiles nesting there, and I watched another documentary. Someone said that the birds will keep water monitors away from the crocodile nests, but you've got to be so careful with these documentaries, and I looked and it was cleverly edited. The birds did not chase the water monitor away from the crocodile nest, they chased it away from their own nest. And let's just have a look now. These lions are here. Oh, hang on, there's a nice view of this one just off to the left. There it is, look at that. One of the young ones. So there we go. So maybe a bit of movement. We'll see. I will reposition and see if we can get that male to see if he decides to move. Again, quite a pungent smell here at the moment. Oh, look at that. So as I was saying, just quickly a recap of those birds. So the birds do benefit in terms of the crocodiles will keep away water monitors or maybe some other predators that are potentially trying to get to the eggs of the water thickney. But the water thickneys would only really chase monitor lizards or protect their own nest. It's not to say that they would chase them away from a crocodile nest, because crocodiles bury their eggs anyway, so they wouldn't necessarily be able to just to stick around and chase monitor lizards. Look how big those bellies are. Look how big those bellies are. So as I said, you just got to sometimes have a close look at certain documentaries. They use clever editing, and occasionally, and it has happened before, occasionally the information may be slightly skewed. But those birds definitely benefit from it, and it makes sense why they would, but those other bigger animals, they won't benefit from it at all. But again, just thank you for the information that was sent through. It's always nice to read up on new or different interesting little scenarios between animals. And two of the youngsters. I haven't really moved around just yet. Those females, I still can't see them. They, I think they're just off to the side, to the back of the bush there. I can't see them at all, so it's not even worth trying to get the camera across there. But I think basically where we are parked now, off to the left of us, and the youngsters are out, and then we'll see if we can get a view of the big male shortly. I wonder if he's still being so protective over that carcass. Yeah, actually, as soon as the one cub stood up, or the one youngster stood up. I just heard a little growl from that male, so he's still being very protective over that kill. He does not want to share. Shall we try reposition again? Maybe see if we can't get a view of that male. Hold on a second. Alright, now Ali unfortunately hasn't had any luck with those leopards she was looking for. They might come out a bit later. I'm sure she will probably find them. I actually have no doubt. But she's at a dam. Let's go and see what she's found at the dam.
Byron, I think your confidence in me is, awesome. So thanks so much. We are at the dam. We are not looking at too much other than the beautiful sunset of the shortest day of the year here in the southern hemisphere, because today is, our midwinter solstice down here, and it's the summer solstice all the way up in the northern hemisphere. We are enjoying a shorter day, and it'll be the longest night of the year. But good news for all of us, this pretty much means that winter is slowly coming to an end, or we can just almost see that we are halfway there, and then we're going to start coming back. Oh, so look at that beautiful reflection of the tree, looking at the world upside down. The northern and the southern hemisphere we've looked at in this shot. Maybe the southern one is the one that it's a bit more hazy because we're a bit colder at the moment. But those beautiful colors. We've had such a spectacular sunrise and sunset today. I think the colors have been really stunning. And as normal as ever, as soon as we saw the sun, then we tried to find a place where we could see it, and the sun just decided, like, no, I'm tired. Today's my early day off. Poof, off it went, back down. We haven't seen it again. So we've actually come to Twin Dams just for a hope that maybe we would hear something, an alarm call, something that would give us an idea of where Tandy and Tamba could potentially be. There were quite a few impala and waterbuck around the area when we first arrived, and they don't seem to be around here. It could be because maybe they spotted a leopard. It could also be because it's getting a bit chilly, so maybe they've gone off and they moved off onto an area where it's a bit warmer for them. So I think our best bet is just to sit still around here and just take everything in, and hopefully we'll hear something that will give us an idea, because we checked the very last spot where they were seen, which was pretty much close to one of the old hyena dens, which by the way is not active, so no hyenas in there, but not around there. We're gonna wait around here with our ears very peeled. Would be useful to have a lion ears, but let's go to James in the Mara and see how he's enjoyed the Lady Lion company.
No. Oh, we are live. I've lost my earpiece. Please excuse me, we're just trying to sort something out here. There we are. Alright, we had a small problem with the card recording that lion kill, so we have now sorted that out. Now, the update from here, you see me keep looking like this to the left hand side. Gendre is not in fact on camera right now. On camera we have Manuel, not of Faulty Towers, Manuel of Kenya. Manners, welcome. And I'm going to point you towards where the lions are. They're underneath those trees there. Well, at least one of them is. The one with the kill is underneath the trees. We think that the other one has gone further off towards the right hand side, but we're not entirely sure at this stage. We're just kind of waiting. We will probably be able to go off road after dark, and so we're going to wait here and see if we can't get a little bit of action of the feeding kind a bit later. Oh, I'm talking absolute rubbish. There's a lion right next to us. She's just there. She's brought the carcass all the way across here. Can you see it there, Mummy? There you go. go. We didn't even see her coming through the grass. That is astounding. Anyway, there she is. She's got the kill with her now. What an idiot. I do apologise, everybody. You know, sometimes my own idiocy really does astound me. Well, there she is. She's got her kill. I'm going to have to move slightly further forward, otherwise I'm afraid what's going to happen is we're going to get cut off. Right, Manu's first driving shot. Here we go. It's definitely worth waiting here. Now I'm going to stop here because I don't know if she wants to cross the road. We need to leave a little bit of a gap for her to go. Let me get out of your way. There she comes. I think she's going to go straight across the road here. And she must be pretty tired at this stage, I imagine. She's walked probably a kilometre. That is beautiful, isn't it lovely? There we go, she's going to take it straight across the road in front of us. Right, cool to just wait here. And there you can see the size of the Wildebeest for the first time. Yeah, definitely born this year sometime. Maybe slightly later than those on the southern plains. And yes, it is a bit macabre, I suppose. But a wonderful shot there of a lioness in the grass. And you can see what I mean when I told you that they are designed so perfectly for this environment. You can see exactly what I mean. All around very quiet from a bird point of view. She keeps going. The other lioness, I think, has lost her. And I can't see her moving. I'll tell you one of the major differences here that I've noticed since I've got here from Djuma is that because there's not so much woodland, there aren't quite so many birds in the grassland areas, and that means that you cannot be led. Well, it's very difficult to be led by alarm-calling birds. Now, you know how many times we have followed leopards and lions on the move from the alarming of the birds. Well, it's quite difficult in this area. Alright, I think what's going to happen now is you're going to see a couple of cars. People are just going to reposition, and she's gone off there, and we probably won't be able to follow her for now, but we might be able to follow her a little bit later. Now there she goes. She still continues towards the big shepherd's tree over towards the left there. You see her, Manu? There you go. Up a bit. That's it. Alright, Baron has managed to catch up with the Nkuhumas as the light fades there at Djuma, and with any luck they too will get up and do something quite astonishing like this bunch over here. Jumbo.
Okay, copy. I'm gonna try going in towards Ludwood Road. Just confirm where exactly. Okay, copy. Alright, sorry guys, I know that you were hearing me talking on the radio. It just seems like one of the guys got almost like a very quick view of a leopard running. on one of the roads not too far, so there's a good possibility that it's either Tandi or Tamba. So I'm gonna try and go onto that area, see if perhaps we can give him a hand and find them. So I think maybe the leopard's also freaked out a little bit, because there's an airplane not too far, so maybe that gave them a bit of a fright. Animals in this area are not too used to having airplanes flying above them. So it could be that happened, but let's go around. I think I just want to check my map quickly, because I may have gone, I did indeed. I've got to turn. Let's see, if I turn around here, maybe I'll get lucky. Alright, I'm gonna carry on looking for this and see what's happening, but let's go to Byron and the lions next to their kill.
Now we're just still sitting here. They haven't moved again. They're still, the youngsters are trying to get close to this carcass, but it's very, very difficult because that big male is so protective over it at the moment. Very peaceful. Some francolins calling in the distance. There are still one or two vultures in the distance too. Nothing really close by because there aren't big trees for them to land in at the moment. But it's amazing how their eyesight, the vulture's eyesight is so good. They'll see these carcasses and lions lying out for very far away. And Dresia, you say these lions are so worn out from eating. They are indeed. Just full bellies. They really gorge themselves on meat. They'll eat as much as they possibly can. See, this male's going to get a bit upset with this youngster. You see, as soon as these youngsters move around, he gets very upset with them. As I was saying, these vultures will see these carcasses and lions lying out in the open from far away, and then hang around and wait in the area until they possibly can get some of the carcass. As I said, the temperature's definitely dropped. I was hoping there'd be a bit more activity, maybe from the females moving, but I think this is typical of lions that are very full. There's no need for them to move just yet or too much. So that's why they... Bobby, you say a zebra coma. Yeah, too much zebra meat. Look at those bellies. They are so full. But that is wonderful for this pride. So that's a lot of good food for them. And this will keep them going for a number of days before they need to hunt again. So the females did very well with this kill. Nancy, you asked which Birmingham male it is with the pride. Fergus? Mfumo. Thank you. So Fergus says it's Mfumo. That's apparently who it is. I haven't really seen these lions enough, but oh yeah. So this is a Mfumo. I've seen him before, but isn't he the one who's got a bit of a tooth missing? Yeah. So he hasn't opened his mouth for me to see that missing tooth yet. Can you see it? also breathing quite heavily. When they are so full, these lions breathe very heavily and they pant because their bellies are so full that it makes it difficult to breathe sometimes. So you see them panting quite heavily, and it's because they are just incredibly full. I must be honest, I really don't like that feeling, when you've just eaten so much that you're uncomfortable and you sit back and it doesn't matter what you do, you feel terrible. Oh. Alright, so Fergs, sorry, the viewers, I do apologize. You will say this is Tinyo, not Mfumo. So this is Tinyo. Fergs was actually testing me and I failed. I do apologize. I am very, very sorry for getting it incorrect. As I said, I'm not very good with the names of these Birmingham males. I promise to try and improve. So there's Tinyo. Cheryl, I don't know. These youngsters have tried to get to that carcass, try to get a little bit closer, but this male is not interested in letting them anywhere close. So I don't know what's going to happen when they're going to be able to feed. Nice little yawn there. But watch the male lion. He keeps watching. He keeps gazing up at that little youngster. Alright. Now we've got some resting lions here at the moment. Now it sounds like they've got resting lion. I don't know if it's a lion or a leopard actually, but something that's resting up in the Mara. Let's go have a look. Oh dear, so it sounds like, what is that? This lion smells something. Sorry, we just lost some feed from the Mara for a second. Maybe they'll be back with us shortly and then you can go and see that. I think it's that lion perhaps that James had that's also resting at the moment. It just fairly recently made a kill, so I think it's quite tired, resting, probably fed a little bit already, I'm not sure. Dragged the carcass too, so James has had some luck up there. I'm sure he is very excited. I think he's had a long day. Apparently he was up very early this morning. We all know James likes his beauty sleep, so now Fergus said that James wakes up with his curlers in. Just make a clear note that I did not make that comment. It was Fergus. James, I'll leave the ball in your court. Now listen, was there another growl? Just a little warning, perhaps, from the male. Almost as if he's uncomfortable. James apparently said it must be nano curlers. Yes, James used to have.
Yeah.
That's what. Yes, Chantal, nano curlers. That's it.
Not nano curlers.
Not nano. No, nano. That's small curlers. Chantal's laughing at us now. So James says it must be nano curlers, tiny curlers. Now I'll have you know, James did used to have locks of hair when I first got to know him. Kind of curly, yeah. Hey, how long have... I mean, Fergs has known him a long time, eh, Fergs?
When he had his
When he had full man. Let's head up to the Mara. The pictures back. Let's see what they've got.
Jew. Well, we're back and the sun is setting, and it is that exciting time of day when the big cats get moving. And just over my shoulder here is a male leopard who's lying in the grass, but fortunately tonight we're going to stick with him for as long as possible. A lovely big boy, I'd say about 6 or 7 years old, not too many nicks and scars. And as you can see, camouflage is king out in the African bush, and he has disappeared. Oh, I did see a bit of movement there, Dave. You see a little bit of movement. Oh, he's yawning a bit. Ah, it's good signs, good signs. He might be up and moving. Remember, this is 100% live from the Masai Mara in Kenya. Please send your questions through using the hashtag #SafariLive. Now, our plan is to stay as long as possible. Hi, Rock! Rock is wondering whether the leopards keep close to the wooded areas around here. Now, Dave is going to show you, Rock, that this is not one of the wooded areas. Now, one must remember that animal behavior is area specific rather than species specific. So the leopards in the Sabi sands will have different tactics to leopards in the Masai Mara. And you can see we're in a very big open grassland. Now, this open grassland is dotted with trees. It is called a Balanite zone. And there we go, Dave. Well, dotted. There's a few of them. Oh, he's up. Hello, beautiful. He is an exquisite specimen. And I'd say well in the prime of his life. Now, I'm hoping that some of you guys are going to be able to get screenshots of both spot patterns. I've only managed to get shots of one. Danny is wondering, do the leopards have names in the Mara? Yes, they do. Not all of them, but most of them. So it's going to be interesting for us to see if this leopard has a name. I'm going to have to go chat to the guides and the researchers to see if this particular leopard has a name. He is quite relaxed, so there is a possibility he might just have a name. But until we can find out, who knows? But it's very exciting. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with how we identify leopards individually, that each individual leopard has something called a spot pattern. Now, a spot pattern is like a fingerprint. It's unique to every single leopard out there, and it is the line of dots above his whiskers. So, can you see there, Dav? Okay, let me just wait. There we go. So you see there's his last line of whiskers, and he's got 2 spots above. So, and that's his right side. So I've only got the spot pattern for his right side so far, which is 2. Now, when reading spot patterns, you always begin with the right side and end in the left side. So at the moment, he's a 2 unknown. But that's the fun thing. We're going to get to find out exactly who he is. And hopefully he's going to take us on a little wander through the long grass. Fuzzy Bunny would like to know, do the leopards have any threats here? The same threats that face leopards throughout Africa. In these type of areas, they do not have much threat from people. We're right in the center of the Mara Triangle, and it's very unlikely that these leopards would ever come into contact with illegal poaching and that. But the biggest threats to leopards in an ecosystem like this are lions, hyenas, and of course other leopards. But I'd say it'd be quite a brave leopard to tangle with this young gentleman. As I say, he looks to be right in his prime. Now he's starting to do a bit of grooming. You can just see the movement through the grass there, which is always a good sign for us. So it's one of the things we look for in big cats when we're following them for a long period of time, is when they start grooming, and hopefully they'll start stretching next, then they'll defecate, urinate, and then we're on the move. At the moment, the grass is quite pretty in the golden light. Hello, Daniel in Scotland. Daniel would like to know, is the Masai Mara's Big Five the same Big Five as in South Africa? Indeed it is. The big difference is the Big Five we see here is we've only got one species of rhino in the Mara. We only have the black rhino, where there is, or the hook-lipped rhinoceros, where there is in South Africa they have white and black rhino. So yes, the Big Five is the same. Now, the Big Five is originally from the colonial area for the 5 most dangerous animals to hunt on foot. So it is the same throughout Africa. And of course, as times have changed, that the Big Five has become a far more sought after to be shot by cameras rather than bullets. And it is a good thing that. And the world is changing. And it will continue to change, and hopefully we're going to be a good part of that change, bringing Africa to everyone, and hoping and helping people to realize how important the natural world around us is. Now, we're going to wait here to see if anything happens, but we're going to zoot across back to South Africa to see if Ali can match my leopard with one of her own.
Brent, I will match your leopard. I just have to work a bit harder for it because our leopards here don't seem to be on the trees like yours. No, so there were some vultures up in a tree, so we came into the bush to investigate to see what's happening because we got an update from one of the guys that apparently he found a carcass somewhere on the ground, and he says that he actually thinks the carcass belongs to Shongile. But I think let's just not make any calls until we manage to hopefully find this leopard, because I think the story is just getting more and more complicated. I want to try and go back to where it is, because he says it was quite in the open area, and this is exactly where the vultures were, but of course they've now gotten a fright and they've flown away. So I want to see if perhaps we get lucky somewhere around here. You're sometimes getting a bit of an explanation as to where to turn and where to go. It gets a bit tricky. So I think I'm going to backtrack where we've come, see if perhaps I missed anything on the road. And he said it was still quite far in. And hopefully we'll be able to see, because you would imagine that it's not that easy to miss the spots of a car going into the bush. But I can't see anything around here. Let's see. Vicky, you're wondering what distances would a leopard travel? Well, it depends on what they're up to. Sometimes if they're patrolling their territory, it can be quite a distance. I think maybe this is where they went in. It can be maybe 15-20 kilometers in a night, and sometimes if they don't have to go all that far, perhaps it'll be a bit less. It'll be 5-10 kilometers. It depends, because also it depends on the area where they live. In some areas where they have bigger territories, then they don't have to move as far. But in some other, now you see there's a 2-track here. I don't think it is us though. And in some other areas, like in the Mara, for example, I would imagine that their territories are bigger, then they can cover a lot more ground during the night. This is a car here. Well, there's been a car around here, so we shall carry on looking for these leopards. But let's go over to Byron, who's managed to wait long enough for Tinyo to get up on his feet.
Now we did just get a little interaction here. It was very quick and very brief. The male got up and chased the cubs away, or the youngsters away. Gave them a bit of a growl. Came out there quite quickly. It was wonderful to see, but now he's gone and climbed, or basically moved right back behind the bush again. Let's see, he may move out. I wonder where he's going to go. Cindy, you asked if... Oh, what's Eric? He's going to come again, maybe. Hold on. These youngsters are clearly very hungry. They want to get to this kill. Now, Cindy, you asked if the lionesses might push Tinyo out. What? He's going to come again, perhaps? if they would push him off of the kill so that these youngsters could feed. I'm not sure, Cindy. Possibly, but also the lionesses don't want to risk injury. And he looks like he's really intent on protecting that kill. Oh, listen to him. Okay, I think, why don't we try IR? Do you want to try that first? Should we put it on? There we go. Sure, quite chilly this evening. Eesh. Are you getting cold, folks?
Yeah, 2 days in.
2 layers already?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, okay, I've only got 1 layer on. Oh, that's great, infrared now. This is wonderful to see something different. Now, as I said, these youngsters, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them here. I can see. You see another one at the back there, Fergs? I can't. I just see 5 of them.
Yeah, I can't.
And just the.
There was one lying in the grass.
Yeah, there could possibly be another one at the back there, or maybe he's lying with the lionesses. Gee. These lions stink, everybody. Oh, shit. That is not a pleasant smell. I think they're suffering from a bit of gas. From zebra. From the zebra. Sheesh. Oof, no. That is a foul smell. Not good. Anyway, the show must go on. That's funny. We were sitting here, and these lions, I mean, they were quite calm and just resting, and then all of a sudden this male came out. Justin, you asked what it smells like. Did you say, does it smell like dog or rot? Justin. Justin, it smells like, I don't know if I could describe it. Almost a bit of rotten meat, I would say. Fergs, what do you think?
A meaty fart.
Fergus says it smells like a meaty fart. I don't know if we can say that while we're live, Fergus. Can if that's a black dot next to my name, I do apologize.
I'll take it. Alright, now the person who describes smells the best is, of course, James Crocodile Dundee Hendry. Let's head across to him now and see what he is up in the Mara.
Indeed a landscape, and I will tell you that the lions, all of them, have crossed to that tree over there, which, Manu, if you wouldn't mind, we can have a look at. It's that tree just there. Big tree, and a bird came and sat upon it, that one in the left-hand side of the screen, that's it. And they are probably feeding there, and we may or may not go off and have a look at them a bit later. We have to wait for our Askari, who is our nighttime accompaniment here in the Mara. All the other vehicles are headed home, but we, with our Wild Earth special privileges, are allowed to be here for for a bit longer, as long as we have an Askari. And so he's on his way to us. He'll join us shortly. And then we might go off and see if we can't spot those lions. It was 2 lionesses in the end and 2 cubs. About, I would say that they were probably about almost 3 months old, actually. So hopefully we'll get to see them in the infrared light a little bit later. We're also, we're not far from the den of a hyena clan that we saw last year in September. And if I'm not mistaken, what are they known as? I've forgotten what they're called. There's the North clan that Brent has spent quite a lot of time around since he's been here this time round. And this clan's got a really odd name, and I've forgotten what it is. Anyway, they're not too far from here, so they might come through. The wind is blowing straight towards them, so perhaps they'll pop around here. Thomas, you say the diversity of the animals in the Mara here is incredible. It is absolutely incredible, but you know, the diversity in the Sabi sand is no less. It's just that you don't see it all at the same time. So the number of mammal species of antelope species that we get in the Sabi sand is 10. Out here I haven't counted them. We get Wildebeest, obviously. We get dik. We get Steenbok. There are probably a couple of duiker in the forested areas. I haven't seen one here yet. Waterbuck. No kudu. We get impala, of course. We get, what else? We get the topi. And then of course we get the 2 gazelle species, and there may be 1 or 2 that I'm forgetting, but you know, by and large the diversity is actually the same. It's just that you see it all at the same time over here, and that's what makes it look like it's slightly more diverse. I think you might find actually that the total number of species in the Sabi sand is higher. Oh yes, our Lara Moore, absolutely it does. I'm just going to go a little bit forward so that we can just change our picture slightly. You say, does it smell different here in the morning from the evening? Yes, it absolutely smells different in the morning here from the evening. The morning smells much wetter. Remember, there's quite a heavy dew that will fall sometimes. Now we've had quite a hot day, cloudless day. All of that dew has gone away, and so now instead of that sort of fresh cut grass smell that we get in the mornings, what we've got at the moment is a smell of dry grass. That sort of crisp, golden dry grass smell. But of course there's a lot of green grass underneath the dry stuff here, and that also lends its own smell to what is a really special scent, I think, of the evening here in the Mara. And as I say that, of course, the wind is starting to come up, and so that's going to require something of a jersey. So I think I'm going to put a jersey on, and Brent Leo Smith has managed to keep up with that leopard, which is fantastic, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about him now.
Well, this leopard is being really, really wonderful to us. He's now moving down one of the grass-cut roads, so we're going to keep up with him. And I think he's out on the hunt. He's quite hungry, and you can see the magnificent sun setting below the Olololo escarpment. I just need to have a quick chat here quickly. About him, is it? Our Askari's coming in the gari now to spend the night with us. Asante. Mzuri sana. Okay. Just chatting to one of the guards. He's looking at me a little bit funny because I didn't have my Askari yet, but Steph is bringing the Askari. He's just dropped one off with James. And we're quite far from James. We're probably around 20 kilometers or so from James. He's directly below Angama in that area of the Angama Pride. We're actually quite far down south in the Balanaiti zone, and not too far that way is actually Tanzania. And now, one of the wonderful things, as the sun sets here in the Mara, there's only going to be us out and about. Isn't this gorgeous? You do not get many more scenes beautiful than this. Now, up ahead there, that's Limambili. Around that area There's Grant's gazelle, Thompson's gazelle, impala, zebra, and what else did I see there today? Oh, but anyway, generally there's always a lot of smaller antelope, Grants and Tommies, in particular an impala, which of course fits right into this beautiful big boy's diet. Oh, this is magic. Dave?
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. As soon as we saw that he was hungry today, I think Dave and I knew we weren't moving too far from where he was. Stara says, what a beautiful steam. Indeed, Sarah, you are 100% correct. It is exquisite, magnificent, breathtaking. There we go. I love it when they stop, listen, seeing if there's any potential prey up ahead. As I say, I think he's only really going to get, well, you never know, there could be a warthog late on its way back to its home, but generally I say he's going to have the most success around the Limambili area, and I know all of you must be just as excited as me to have our first new leopard friend in the Masai Mara, and I'm hoping we're going to spend oodles upon hours, upon days, upon weeks, upon months of time with these incredible cats, and hopefully in particular with him. He's definitely going to be the dominant male, just judging from his behavior in this beautiful Balanite zone. He might even dip down towards the little Inselbergs, towards Tanzania, and as I said, this is one of the really amazing and fun things about being out here, is that you are able to follow these animals, and also we get to learn a whole new different set of animals. And what fascinates me the most in all the different places in Africa I've worked and traveled and game viewed is the fact that a leopard here could do something that you would never expect from a leopard in the Sabi Sands, or in Botswana, or in Zambia, or even in Mozambique. So it is quite special. What's he? Look at that, he's on his back legs. Now, this is what I'm talking about. We don't often see leopards do this in the Sabi Sands, but he obviously has to be able to see over that grass. Now, he's heard something in the grass that we can't see, he can't see. Oh dear, this is where it gets difficult. I might have to get my... I don't think he's going to go too far. He's still interested. And he might even do that little hop onto his back legs again. Now, we've seen leopards in the Sabi Sands do it, but it's not something they do often. And I think you probably find the more time we spend with leopards out here in the Mara, it's something that they probably do have to do quite often, especially if their territories are out away from the escarpment or the rivers and out in these open grasslands around the Balanite. I mean, you never know, there could be, I don't even know what there could be there. You might have even heard a serval or something. I'm going to try to stick with them in this long grass. Fortunately, we have... And there could also be an errant Thompson's gazelle that's wandering. Oh, he's definitely onto something. He's jogging after whatever it is, whatever he can hear now. What have you heard, big boy? You see anything from up high there, Dave?
Negative.
Now, from his behavior, it looks like he's running to try cut something off that's heading that way. That's why I'm not driving directly behind him. Remember, we are very, very careful not to interfere in hunts. He can hear something in this grass. Sorry, Dave, I didn't hear that. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to stick with him. And he is definitely after something. I've lost sight of him now. But he is just jogging through the grass. He's heard something we can't see. Just keep an eye for his head, Dave. 'Cause it just pops up every now and then. That's sort of giving us an idea of where he is. There he is, there he is. As I say, I'm being very careful to drive quite far away. I don't want to get too close. I don't want to ruin his chances at success. Oh, head down again. Ooh. That's what we got to watch out for out here. Warthog holes. There he is, he's right in front of us now. Ears up. You know what there could be here? That one thing I didn't think of was a boar reedbuck. And they are often hiding in this long grass. Now, I do have a thermal night vision scope that unfortunately only I can see out of to help me keep track of things in the dark. Dave does have infrared, but we need to put the lights on still. But I think we've got enough ambient light at the moment. And oh, he's jogging again, Dave. There's a zebra running right towards us. He's actually setting an ambush. There's a zebra running right towards us. Okay, we've lost sight of him, but he's literally going in ambush for the zebra. Now, he's probably going to hope that there's a youngster. This is another one of these long-lighted zebras that he completely ignored earlier. Would he be brave enough to go for an adult zebra? Oh, look at that. See, they've sensed something's wrong. I don't think they saw it. The wind is in no one's favor. Maybe they did see him. That was a very sharp zebra. If you did, I just make out his ears. Is that him there, Dad? So that little, yeah, that's him there. That was a very good spot, zebra. I don't think it was convinced that it saw something. I think it's amazing that I think instinct does play quite a role in these things. Now they're not sure whether something's there or not. Are there more zebra coming in from behind us? No, they're not. This looks like to be the last of them. He's way too far. Is he going to jog after the zebra? That is the question. They're moving quite quickly, and they can keep up that slow trot for quite a distance, whereas he probably won't be able to. I didn't see any. There's one smallish zebra in that group, but no particularly small. But that's what I'm saying. You never know. Maybe a male leopard here would go for an adult zebra. There he is. Heads up now. It's still a bit light for the... Should we give the thermal a try, Dave? Yeah. Let's have a look through my little spotter. Let me see if I can remember how to use it. Oh. Okay, there he is. So he's definitely stopped hunting, and I'm just testing that I can see him in my thermal spotter. I probably look quite ridiculous. Yeah, probably look quite ridiculous, but it is working. So it'll be much easier for me to keep pace with him while he moves through the grass by just checking every now and then. And while we do that, let's go across to Ali, who's got one of the cutest creatures in the African bush.
Around here, Seb.
Okay.
We did, but it's been jumping around non-stop. It's a tiny bush baby, and I think he's jumped from where the last spot from where we saw it. But I think maybe if we just wait patiently, it's just been jumping up and down the tree. So I'm hoping that it'll come around and look at us. We had no luck with that leopard. We went bundu bashing, looking for where the vultures were and moving around and looking for this carcass, but we just couldn't really find anything. So we're going to try go back on the same road and just, backtrack ourselves, see if perhaps this leopard comes around, because actually we got so excited, and I know Brent is never going to live this one down, and he's going to make fun of me forever because he saw a leopard today and I haven't. But we actually thought the bush baby's eyes were a leopard in the distance, and we got super excited because it's a very big bush baby with very big eyes in the distance. But I think there it is, jumping again. Okay, I see it now at the back. Yep, there we go. Did you guys see it in the middle of the frame? He's busy jumping there. If you look at my finger, there. So he is, there we go, jumping up again. There we go, going up. You can see now towards the middle of your frame, if you just look for movement, there it is. I think it's grooming itself. So you can just see the movement in there. That little funny thing that looks like a leaf, that is actually the bush baby. Tiny little primate that lives around here, probably the smallest one we have around here. Very cute creature. Very hard to spot, although we try very hard every night. And I think he's just playing with us. Making it a bit harder. Will you come and say hello, please? I think this is not such a extrovert of a bush baby like the ones in quarantine or around that general area that we see often. We are quite far away from home. So I think maybe this bush baby hasn't been faced with the camera too much. Maybe he's just being a bit camera shy. I think maybe we're just gonna leave him. Perhaps, are you gonna jump again? Maybe another leopard around here? Nope. Alright, I think we're gonna leave him and go back to do one final lap to see if perhaps we get lucky. Let's go over to Byron in the meantime. And Byron, we challenge you to a bush baby challenge, seeing you're the bush baby whisperer. So let's see, Byron, will you be able to spot 2 bush babies at once? Haha!
No, Ellie, it doesn't work like that. I've been sitting with lions for the last half an hour or hour, so I've just got going. A bush baby challenge now. I think I got one. What's that 3 there? No, I don't think so. What is it? Can you see what that is? I can't even see what that is. There is a bush baby jumping there, but let's head to the Mara because there's something interesting going on there. It is a bush baby, yes.
Well, the zebras were coming straight towards him. They seemed to have a sixth sense in this long grass, and they came quite close to him, but they went, I thought they might run right up to him, but then they didn't. They moved past. But these zebras are streaming through. Shame, boy. As I say, I don't think he's hunting too seriously just yet. I think he's waiting for it to be properly dark. And with this amount of zebra in this area, and they keep coming through, he might get the opportunity to go after a young zebra foal. So when we just thought there were no more zebras coming, they just keep coming. Now I wonder if these guys are crossing. They're all heading down towards the Tanzanian border at the moment. And they almost seem nervous in this long grass. They just jog through it. There we go. You can see them jogging there. Well, of course, as I said, jog, they slow down. And they've probably been moving for quite some distance. Now, he can obviously hear a lot better than I can. So how I actually figure that zebras are coming is I actually see him change his behavior and body language. And I think he hears them coming through the grass. Is that incredible? We can't hear that. But he hears them long before they arrive. And he's trying to get himself into a spot where he can probably not jump on any zebra, but wait till he finds a small enough one. Oh, he's on.
Look at this, everyone. There we go, Ellie. That's 2 bush babies. This is a nice clear one for you. Beautiful sight of this little bush baby. We caught a glimpse of one just before we linked to Brent, but that was exciting. It sounded like zebra running after a leopard, or I don't know what was going on there. It sounded interesting. And now a beautiful view of this little bush baby. Look at that. So cute. It's one of the better views we've had of a bush baby recently. Let's see if we can get him to turn and face us. No, he's not interested. Moving quite slowly. Sorry, there we go. Look at that head, moving slowly, looking around. I wonder if it's looking for food, perhaps. Up in the tree. That's a very cute little bush baby. Come on, look this side. It looks like it's listening and looking out for something. Maybe it's trying to listen for insects or anything really. Predators, perhaps. Look here. Sky, yeah, it's quite rare to see them sit so still for such a long period of time. So I wonder if I know it does take them a while to warm up, and it is a bit cooler this evening, so I wonder if perhaps it's just trying to warm up a little bit before it starts moving, or if it just feels really comfortable with us this close to it. It's a really, really lovely view of one. I'm glad we found it. Alright, I'm going to... There we go. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Look at that face. Those big eyes. Isn't that cute? See, I'm not shining the spotlight directly on it. I don't want to harm the eyes in any way. Oh, that is precious. Awesome little creatures. Little bush babies. Look at those eyes. Well, little fella, I think you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Yeah, Cara, I'm going to take the spotlight off him now. I think we've had a lovely view of him. I don't want to disturb him for too long. Cara, you say maybe he's using our spotlight to look for insects, maybe. But what a nice view. Wasn't that special? Really, really great. I was just saying to Ali, it wasn't fair that she challenged me quite late for a bush baby challenge after she had found one. Anyway, good to see that one. Let's head over to Ali. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Byron, it seems like you are definitely the bush baby lord and commander. 2 bush babies at once. I think I just need to do this so that I can get out of this road. And oh my goodness, it seems like the leopards have defeated me today, but we shall see tomorrow. But I think overall we had a wonderful afternoon out there. Cat leopard in the Mara, and the lioness and the wildebeest, and of course the Nkuhumas still busy where we left them this morning. I think overall we've had an incredible day over here, and I really hope that you've all enjoyed it as much as what we have. And by we, I mean everyone here, all of the FC girls, the cameraman who plays such an important part in what we do, and of course the other presenters. I think Tristan got so excited, that's why he had to take the afternoon off. Couldn't deal with the excitement of the morning. Whew. Alright. Tingana, one last second? No, little bunny? Oh my goodness. We'll see you all tomorrow for a wonderful day. Hopefully as full of surprises as today. And we'll see you all tomorrow morning.